It's a special late night edition of Sundry News for Friday. Yes, it is still technically Friday, July 10th. I'm about to fall asleep, but I can do this. We can do this. I am determined. We have a 3-pack of Daily Wire emails for today. And probably a lot more than 3 yawns are going to happen. Apologies in advance. The Daily Shapiro, sponsored by ExpressVPN. De Blasio suggests ban on public gatherings like parades or fairs. Black Lives Matter protests are different because the message is just too important. Insufferable. Watch. Bath and Body Works manager says fuck Donald Trump to man simply for wearing a Trump face mask. Good for that guy. Obviously not the manager. The guy in the mask. Dead cat gets voter registration application in the mail. I heard about that. Silly. Very silly. Imposter patriots. Tammy Duckworth slams Tucker Carlson and Trump as self-serving, insecure men. I don't think so. Watch. Tucker highlights Seattle allegedly selecting city employees for anti-racism training based on skin color. Yeah, sounds like the norm these days. We don't judge people by the content of their character. That's for, I don't know, white supremacists, I guess. I guess I'm a white supremacist. You know, if white supremacists judge people by the content of their character rather than the color of their skin. Because the people that are anti-white supremacists these days certainly don't do that. Protect your online privacy with ExpressVPN. And listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Tune into the fastest growing, hardest hitting, most insightful, and savagely irreverent conservative podcast on the web. Moving along. To Election Wire. The silly season in politics usually doesn't come until the dog days of August, but 2020 is different in every way, so why not get started early, right? Billionaire rapper Kanye West this week jumped into the presidential race, vowing to run as a member of the birthday party. I think that's hilarious. The RNC pulled a page from the Hillary Clinton when he does debates. Is he gonna be in his birthday suit? Ah ha 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 ha. The RNC pulled a page from the Hillary Clinton campaign to hammer Joe Biden, while the presumptive Democratic nominee reached out to supporters of Senator Bernie Sanders, who left Clinton at the altar last time around. Meanwhile, Republicans are looking to go back to nature next month by holding their convention in the great outdoors. Cool. And Senator Tammy Duckworth skyrockets in the odds to be Biden's running mate. Oh, is that why she's being talked about? Okay. I mean, I have no idea who she is. Apparently she's a senator. There we go. A birthday party. That sounds very happy. Kanye West tosses hat into ring, makes everyone mad. I'm not mad. Trump's probably not mad. As if 2020 wasn't already wild enough, rapper Kanye West, who admittedly struggles with bipolar disorder, has entered the race. Hey, there's no rule that says, okay, for one thing, I didn't know that he was bipolar, but also I'm pretty sure there's no rule that says the president can't be bipolar. There's medicine, whatever, has entered the race, saying he is running on the birthday party ticket and will use the Wakanda management model if he wins the White House. That, I think, is stupid, but whatever. In an expansive interview with Forbes, West said he is no longer a big supporter of President Trump, stating he is taking the red hat off, but he was much harder on Biden. I'm not saying Trump's in my way. He may be a part of my way, And Joe Biden? Like, come on, man, please. You know, Obama's special, Trump's special. We say Kanye West is special. America needs special people that lead. Bill Clinton, special. Joe Biden's not special, West said. West also blasted the Democratic Party, even though Biden famously declared that all blacks should be members of the party. Yeah. That is a form of racism and white supremacy and white control to say that all black people need to be Democrat and to assume that me running is me splitting the vote. All of that information is being charged up on social media platforms by Democrats, West said. And Democrats used to tell me the same Democrats have threatened me. The reason why this is the first day I registered to vote is because I was scared. I was told that if I voted on Trump, my music career would be over. 2. RNC hammers Biden in brutal new ad. How come it's always 3 a.m. in political adverts? What does that mean? Hillary Clinton famously posted up an ad in 2008 while running against first-term Senator Barack Obama, showing cute children asleep in their beds. Then a phone rings. The narrator asks, "There is a phone in the White House, and it's ringing. Who do you want answering the phone?" The Simpsons even did a send-up on the 3 a.m. call, showing a guy who looks like Trump taking so long to primp for a national security meeting, including putting a little dog on his head for hair, that he misses the crisis. Now, the Republican National Committee is using the same old saw to target the Democratic candidate. The ad, titled "Joe Biden, Unfit to Lead," repeatedly highlights Biden struggling to speak coherently and features two top Democrats, Senator Cory Booker and Obama senior advisor David Axelrod. "It's 3 a.m. and your children are safe and asleep, but there's a phone in the White House and it's ringing. Something is happening in the world. Your vote will decide who will answer that call," the narrator says. Then Booker says, "There's a lot of people who are concerned about Joe Biden." And Axelrod chimes in with, "He kind of bumps along, kind of Mr. Magooing his way through this." Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Mr. Magoo. 3. Biden swoops left in attempt to woo Bernie bros. After Hillary Clinton beat Senator Bernie Sanders in the 2016 race for the Democratic presidential nomination, leaked emails from the Democratic National Committee showed that the system was rigged against him and in favor of Clinton. That was July. Come November 2016, Sanders supporters stayed home and Clinton lost badly. Biden isn't making the same mistake Clinton did. He's moving left in an attempt to woo the Bernie bros. This week, the presumptive nominee debuted a series of unity guidelines authored with the help of a Biden-Bernie unity task force that draws some progressive policies directly from Sanders' agenda. The unity plan is designed to prevent clashes between Biden supporters and Sanders supporters during the Democratic National Convention's policy platform sessions, and the task force is charged with making recommendations directly to the DNC to avoid conflicts between moderates and progressives. Sanders gave a tepid endorsement of the plan. "Though the end result is not what I or my supporters would have written alone, the task forces have created a good policy blueprint that will move this country in a much-needed progressive direction and substantially improve the lives of working families throughout our country." Okay. A much-needed progressive direction, because progress for the sake of progress itself is virtue. You might like Blink Sale. Get paid and back to growing your business. Blah, blah, blah. 4. Back to Nature. RNC Eyes Outdoor Convention. Well, COVID dies in the sunlight. First, Trump pulled out of North Carolina, bashing the state's Governor Roy Cooper by writing on Twitter that the Democrat made it absolutely impossible for the Republican Party to have its convention in Charlotte. I believe it. Then it was announced that the RNC would move much of the convention's festivities to Florida, which has seen a recent spike in COVID-19 cases. So now comes the latest iteration. Just go outside. Trump recently shared that the GOP was considering unspecified options should the current convention plans become unfeasible telling Voice of America host Greta Van Susteren that the party would be flexible after she asked about the increase of coronavirus cases in the area. Republican officials have been eyeing the possibility of moving the planned in-person nominating convention from the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville to one of two nearby outdoor sites, a minor league baseball park that seats about 11,000 or a football stadium that seats 65,000, the Washington Post reported. By the numbers, Trump versus Biden. Biden, who is still mostly holed up in his basement amid the coronavirus panic. Hey! I didn't have to editorialize that. Or whatever the right word might be. It says it. It literally says that. Look at that. Amid the coronavirus panic, dropped a half a point since last week in a running average kept by Real Clear Politics. He holds an 8.8 point lead. That's weird to say. He holds an 8.8 point lead, although Rasmussen reports gives him a 10-point lead. Things in the battleground states held pretty much as they were. Here's how some swing states look right now. Wisconsin, Biden ahead 6.5. Was same 6.5. Michigan, Biden 7.5. Was plus 7.5. Florida, Biden plus 5.0 was up 6.4. So he dropped there. That's good. Pennsylvania, Biden up 7.0 was up 6.5. North Carolina, Biden up 3.3 was up 3.0. The Veep Stakes. Senator Kamala Harris, who called Biden racist during a presidential debate, was a big favorite last week, according to Bookies.com, but she's dropped down a bit. The big mover, Illinois Democrat Tammy Duckworth, and keep an eye on Susan Rice, former National Security Advisor under Michelle Obama. Keep an eye on Susan Rice, former National Security Advisor under President Obama, along with his wife Michelle. Here's how the potential picks line up, based on $100 bet versus their odds last week. So I see in this picture that Tammy Duckworth appears to be in a wheelchair. So, yeah, no wonder she's rising in estimation. She's a person of color, and she's disabled. Or, differently abled. 2 points on the victimhood checklist. Oh, woman also, of course. That's 3. Senator Kamala Harris, up 120, was down 134. Negative 134. Susan Rice. I'm not going to read the numbers. I'll just read the names. Kamala Harris, Susan Rice, Tammy Duckworth, Representative Val Demings, Michelle Obama, Senator Elizabeth Warren. I know, I don't like Michelle Obama either. Mayor Keisha Bottoms, Stacey Abrams, Michelle Lujan Grisham, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Meme of the week. Don't tread on ye. Cute. Alright. Moving on with the last Daily Wire email. The Daily Wire. Watch Tucker plays Lemon's comments from 2013. Where was I? Tucker plays Lemon's comments from 2013 on black community that'd get him fired immediately now. I believe there was something about certain people needing to pull up their pants, among other things. Don Lemon, Jesus Christ, admittedly was not perfect when he was here. No, dude, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about Jesus, is he lived a perfect life. Yeah. Admittedly was, who the fuck is admitting this? Nobody is admitting that because it's not true. That's the whole thing about Jesus Christ. He was the Son of God, born of a born of a human woman on the earth, and he lived a perfect life. Treasury Secretary backs another round of coronavirus stimulus checks. When you might see some cash? Well, they're supposed to be making a decision by July 20th. Because that's when the next recess starts, I think. Black sportscaster on Deshaun Jackson sharing anti-Semitic quote. Whites never have to disavow. The thing about Shannon Sharpe is, sometimes he's a fucking moron. It's like he has a very selective attention span. Like, extremely selective. Because this is just total and utter bullshit. I mean, just one example. Drew Brees recently. And obviously there's more. City mandates masks, threatens up to a year in jail for repeat violators. That's some city in Colorado. Fuck you guys. There's some ads. Somebody's fingers that I'm guessing is supposed to look like a butt if you're scrolling down. You're scrolling past quickly. Alright, moving along to the Daily Yahoo. Oh, sad. Glee star Naya Rivera likely drowned in tragic accident. Investigators. Naya Rivera, 33, never returned from a swimming excursion in California's Lake Piru with her 4-year-old son, who was found unharmed on a boat. How did it even happen? I don't understand how people just go swimming and drown. What happens? Target shopper wearing $40,000 Rolex destroys face mask display, while Costco shopper protests mask policy. Add 2 more videos to the growing bunch of shopper tirades about face masks. A public relations executive destroyed a display at an Arizona Target. Okay. It's a protest. I mean, that's how protests work, right? Even violence can be a protest, right? Server who told CEO on racist tirade to leave California eatery gets thousands in tips. Get out, you are not allowed here, she said in the video. You do not talk to our guests like that. They are valued guests. Get out. Okay. Okay, so the CEO was on a racist tirade. First Lady Melania Trump's friend and former advisor writes explosive memoir, Melania and Me. Stephanie Winston Wolkoff's book will be published by Gallery Books on September 1st, according to multiple reports. All these people cashing in, writing books. Exclusive. Chinese banks prepare contingency plans over threat of U.S. sanctions, sources say. Chinese state lenders are revamping contingency plans in anticipation of U.S. legislation that could penalize banks for serving officials who implement the new national security law for Hong Kong. Sources at 5 state financial institutions said, in a worst-case scenario under consideration by the bank, blah, 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 so-and-so, whatever. Mask hurting your ears? Try these 7 low-key brilliant hairstyle tricks. No more rubbing or irritation. Promise. From Cosmopolitan. Oh, Cosmopolitan. The bandwagon is super, super full. Everybody needs to get off. 5 summer deals we love. Feeling like summer is all over the place this year? Yep, us too. Whether you're soaking it in from the beach or your balcony, our editors found deals to help you soak in summer your way. Shop our curated summer deals on Yahoo Shopping. And go to Yahoo Search for everything that's hot. Turning now, Christopher Lloyd, Denise Richards, coronavirus, always number 3. I think they do that on purpose. Ashley Johnson, reverse mortgage funding. Satva mattress deals. Kimberly Guilfoyle, Kelly Riley, Savannah Chrisley, security system monitoring. And last but not least is 1440. Good morning. Good evening. It's Friday, July 10th, and we're covering a huge day at the Supreme Court, the death of a South Korean politician, and more. Oh, he's dead now? He was missing last I heard. Need to know. Split decision on Trump taxes. The Supreme Court rebuffed a bid by Congress to access President Trump's financial records yesterday, ruling 7-2 to send the case back to lower courts for further review. A trio of congressional committees had argued the documents were required to assess the adequacy of oversight laws. The justices found that the lower court decision granting access failed to fully consider separation of powers, something the High Court has been wary of adjudicating. Separately, the court upheld the ability of Manhattan prosecutors to obtain 8 years of Trump's individual and corporate tax returns. Okay. The request was part of a probe into whether hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels violated any New York state laws. The decision, also 7-2, rejected the administration's argument that the president was immune to any type of criminal investigation while in office. As part of a grand jury subpoena, the documents are ostensibly held private. Justices Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas were the minority in both decisions, which you can read here and here. Seoul mayor found dead. Seoul Mayor Park Won-soon was found dead yesterday, officials confirmed. While police have not released details, Park is believed to have died by suicide. His body was found just hours after his daughter, who said he left a cryptic "will like" note, reported him missing. Will like. The 64-year-old politician was considered South Korea's second most powerful politician, having served 3 terms leading the country's capital city of nearly 10 million. The liberal politician, known for railing against the country's growing wealth gap, was seen by many as a presidential contender in 2022. His death comes after his secretary reportedly filed a sexual harassment charge against him. Oh. The country has the 4th highest suicide rate in the world. Former President Roh Moo-hyun died by suicide in 2009 after allegations of corruption against his family. Unemployment claims stay above 1 million. An estimated 1.3 million Americans filed unemployment claims last week, down roughly 100,000 from the previous week. While the number of new claims made during the panic nears 50 million, continuing claims, workers who have been collecting benefits for at least 2 weeks, a better proxy for current unemployment, dropped by 700,000 to around 18 million. Initial claims, while gradually declining, have stubbornly persisted above 1 million for 16 straight weeks. Spiking COVID-19 cases have forced 6 states, Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Michigan, and Texas, to halt reopening plans. Yeah, that's not what's doing the forcing. It's the fear. It's the fear and the irrationality and the overreaction. The reversal threatens to derail the nascent recovery, with the group accounting for approximately 1/3 of the U.S. economy. See each state's current reopening status, along with daily changes in case totals here. Separately, stimulus-supported unemployment benefits are set to end July 31st, and a potential 4th stimulus package may be debated when Congress returns from recess July 20th. Oh, returns from recess. Here's what it may include. The U.S. has reported 3.12 million total cases, with 133,291 alleged deaths as of this morning. See the moving 3-day average here. In the know, sports, entertainment, and culture. Big Ten announces it will only play within its conference for fall sports, including football. Because that makes sense. Why? It really doesn't make sense. Are you more likely to get COVID from players at a college that isn't in your conference? What's the reasoning? MSNBC promotes Joy Reid to weeknight anchor slot previously held by Chris Matthews, making her one of the few black women. Joy Reid. I don't know who that is. I read Joy Reid and I thought Joy Behar, but no, it's not. Making her one of the few black women to anchor a major U.S. evening news program. Scrabble bans racial and ethnic slurs from its official list of approved competition words. I will definitely be playing more racial and ethnic slurs. Slurs. Keep fucking saying that. Racial and ethnic slurs. Ethnic slurs. Racial and ethnic slurs. I will definitely be playing more of those. If I can. Glee actress Naya Rivera presumed dead as search moves to recovery operation one day after she went missing following boat outing in California Lake. That's sad. It's sad for her 4-year-old kid. I wonder if the kid knows anything. Like how it happened. Science and technology. Mounting evidence suggests the coronavirus can be aerosolized and spread through the air. I thought that was... Isn't that why the masks... The mode is separate from transmission via coughing or sneezing. Okay. Whatever. Studies find virus may cause brain disorders, even in patients with mild symptoms. It just does everything. It's just a big, scary germ that does everything to you. Bacterial enzyme allows scientists to make edits to mitochondrial DNA, a feat unachievable using CRISPR. What are mitochondria? Oh, well, they're the powerhouse of the cell, are they not? A protein extracted from the blood of mice that exercise frequently found to have a rejuvenating effect in the brains of non-exercising mice. Oh, maybe we should donate brain proteins to all the fat people. Cool. Business and markets brought to you by The Ascent. Wait, they're fat-shaming mice? Unacceptable. I tell you, this experimenting on animals thing is just getting so out of hand. Indeed. Business and markets brought to you by The Ascent. S&P 500 down 0.6% and Dow down 1.4%. Down on unemployment figures. And growing concerns over lingering panic. Oh yes, the panic is definitely lingering. Tech-heavy NASDAQ. It's surprising that all these panicking people are still alive. You'd think their hearts would have given out by now. Tech-heavy NASDAQ, up 0.5%, sees another record closing. Ant Group, the payment platform owned by Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba, planning Hong Kong IPO later this year. I'm so tired. World's most valuable unicorn could be valued at $200 billion or more. A unicorn being an IPO that's valued at over $1 billion, I believe it is. NVIDIA becomes world's most valuable semiconductor chip maker, surpassing industry pioneer Intel. The highest cashback rate we've found is a whopping 5% on select categories, and it'll match our cashback 100% for the first year of card ownership. Secure up to $1,148 in value in your first year alone, all with no annual fee. That's probably for The Ascent. Politics and world affairs. Excuse me. Supreme Court rules a large swath of eastern Oklahoma belongs to the Muskogee Creek Nation, as Congress never disestablished the reservation boundaries when Oklahoma gained statehood. Decision upends civil administration in the area. Yep. So it's only subject to federal laws. And historically, the feds don't work very hard to enforce the laws on reservations. Robert Redfield, director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, says keeping schools closed poses a greater risk to children's health than reopening. Exactly. Bolivian President Janine Áñez tests positive for the coronavirus. Bolivia. U.S. Roman Catholic Church received at least $1.4 billion in coronavirus stimulus aid, with some funds going to dioceses who have recently paid out damages in sexual abuse lawsuits. And that's supposed to outrage people, I guess. Weekend reads. The Myth of Cancel Culture. A myth from Medium. Amid a wave of firings and public shamings, many have criticized what they see as suppression of free inquiry and legitimate public discourse. Here's one of the more thoughtful rebuttals to that criticism we've seen. Oh, so you're denying any suppression of free inquiry and legitimate public discourse? Fucking bullshit. Editors note the article is a reply to this post from Medium, which is also worth reading. Separately, more than 150 prominent writers, journalists, and others signed an open letter calling for more open debate. Uganda's poaching crisis from National Geographic. Among the unintended consequences of the panic has been a plunge in global ecotourism. In Uganda, the industry's collapse has emboldened poachers and pushed desperate locals to hunt in parks, with the country's endangered wildlife bearing the brunt. A violent attack turned this man into a math genius. From BBC. Jason Paget was selling futons in Tacoma, Washington, sleepwalking through a life of partying and womanizing. It all changed one night in 2002 when a blow to the head changed, quite literally, how he saw the world. That's intriguing. What I learned from losing $200 million. This sounds awful. From Nautilus. How the 2008-2009 financial crisis taught one trader an expensive lesson about the illusion of control. Etc. Here's how your phone spies on you. After 50 years, the California condor has returned to Sequoia National Forest. Sweet. Read 29 panic-inspired short stories from leading authors. The Army Green Berets welcome their almost first female member. Okay. From our partners, Udemy is the leading online learning marketplace, offering over 150,000 courses from over 60,000 instructors. Check out boot camps for MBAs, Python, financial analysis, and so many more. Start learning now. A boot camp for your Python? Take a peek inside the fridges of the world's best chefs. The Rolling Stones to release unheard tracks from 1973. Almost done. This 12-year-old girl won $20,000 after designing an alarm to prevent hot car deaths. Oh, that might be a good thing. Will it foil all these awful mothers who secretly just want to get rid of their kids and then don't go to jail because they've been through enough? Hubble telescope captures a fluffy galaxy. Clickbait. Phony church charged after selling bleach coronavirus cure. Oh, brother. History book. France declares war on Great Britain and enters American Revolutionary War, 1778. Iconic inventor Nikola Tesla born, 1856. Scopes monkey trial begins, 1925. Tennessee player Arthur Ashe born, 1943. Happy birthday actress Sofia Vergara, 1972. What's wrong with having a dick in my mouth? One important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. Arthur Ashe. And that's it for 1440. Thank you and good.